building up to Capitol Hill for discussion on the U.S.-Georgia partnership. Thank you for your leadership. We're delighted to have you here with us. It'll take place after the opening. And thanks on our team and our colleagues, Ken Wallach,
Honorable members of Congress and House of Representatives, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure and honor to be here and to strategize among friends and allies to respond to all the challenges and opportunities that we are all facing. United States and Georgia have an experience of extraordinary partnership, especially the last year. Our cooperation goes very well. I guess this is determined by the, I would say, passion for freedom that both nations do share and the common goals that we have been standing for. This friendship is really strengthened by the great performance of our men and women in uniform that has stood at the battlefields together. We should always remember the cause that they were standing together, and the names of our comrades who have not come from the battlefields will always be remembered. The cause for which they fight, our security and freedom, is something that we have to continue. And when we think about this cause, we go back to history and we remember this very day, 15th of March, 1991, when the settlement of Germany has been finalized. 27 years ago, I bet not many people would think that they would, or all of us would, and millions of people living in our nations would have to face once again the challenge of the Cold War. Yet, today, 20% of Georgian territory is occupied by Russian Federation. Moldovan sovereignty and territorial integrity is not restated. Crimea is annexed. Ukraine is at war. Several weeks ago, there was a murder in Tkhinvali, a murder of a Georgian peaceful citizen who, by the way, was an Iraqi war veteran and was a peacekeeper in Iraq. Yet today we hear more of militaristic rhetorics from Moscow. So, however extraordinary it may be, we have to consolidate our spirit and once again be very precise in winning this Cold War for the better peace of the generations to come. To win it in the form, as one general said, to win the war without the fight. Now, when we look at Georgia, Georgia is a stronghold of Western alliances, NATO's eastern flank in the region. Georgia is a country that has suggested and presented solutions to major partnerships in the region. It has opened its coast to major economies and landlocked economies of Europe, of Asia. For all this success is important, is watched, and is transmissible, Georgia does face challenges. And when we do face challenges, we have to go to examples of success, of great leadership that has brought a better future to the generations to come. The cases of leadership which has secured more stable, more prosperous, world. And those cases, when we look back to the history, have not happened without the leadership of the United States. Courageous acts of President Truman, Eisenhower, Ronald Reagan, who has been successful in tearing down the wall of Cold War, has brought prosperity for many years. During these days being in DC, I have been able to strategize with our great friends and allies about an adequate upgrade of Georgian partnerships. We brainstormed on what would be the most applicable accommodation of the extraordinary good partnership that we have at this point, and to bring it to the level of the existing needs and threats. And I believe that already existing formats do need a special appreciation. Speaking at this very special venue, distinguished guests, I want to share with you that we stress on a Georgia Support Act that would accommodate all the existing forms of cooperation as well as the new ones, and give them opportunity to consolidate into a very high level of cooperation between our nations. I believe we are talking this goal for the common good of both of our nations as well as of the regions at large. I would like to use this opportunity to thank Atlantic Council, National Democratic Institute, and Georgian Embassy, and His Excellency Ambassador for organizing this opportunity to share with you. And I would like to finish with the words of a president that is most close to me as an academic and also as a believer. Because in 1918, what Woodrow Wilson said is that what we demand, it is the world become more fit and safe to live in, and particularly it be made safe for every peace-loving nation which wishes to live and determine its own institutions, be assured of justice and fair dealing against force and selfish aggression. And that we see very clearly that unless justice is done to others, it will not be done to us. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I know I will give him your regards and take on my heritage, but to that trip that I got to take with Senator McCain and so on to Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and then later Georgia with Russia. And so on New Year's Eve, he took us to the food there, from the walnuts to the beets to the grilled meats, and desire for independence never ended. Over 70 years later, they voted for their independence, has been tested and tried for a century.